KYTV.
Only and exclusively on KY Sports, top teams from around the world compete in live international catch.
Play ball! And he's dropped it! He's dropped it! And he's going to have to go down on one knee! Oh, yes!
Catch on KY Sports. For coverage you'll really notice.
Exciting stuff. Well, here at KYTV, there's a brand new look. Out go the old presenters and the old sofas, and in come the old presenters and a completely new set of sofas.
And thank you to all those of you who've written to us here at KYTV. We don't, unfortunately, have time to open your letters, but we do look at all the postmarks, I assure you.
A reminder that we're still on the lookout for people who can make interesting shadow puppets with their genitals.
That's right, and thanks very much to Edmund Ferris of Leicester for his very convincing Dave Lee Travis.
Yes, the pipe was a masterstroke.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome to the show in which we'll be posing the crucial question, 2000 and whither? How do you think things will be different by the year 2000?
I think people will be friendlier and more open.
You really think so?
I bloody know so!
I'm asking about the year 2000. How do you see people changing?
I was let off, you know.
Excuse me, madam. What are your expectations of the year 2000?
Oh, I won't be here.
You won't be here.
I should be home by then.
So join us as we look into our crystal ball, conjure up images of life in the year 2000 and see what the future holds. And it's looking pretty good.
Yes, we'll be taking a frank and at times honest look at sex in the next century. A condom that expands and stiffens on its own for men who have trouble achieving erection.
And for the liberated woman, a contraceptive coil that automatically dials you a cab after ejaculation.
And I'll be looking at invisible glass, a new device which looks set to revolution.
But first, an amendment to my KYTV gourmet meal recipe. Some viewers have phoned in about the roast turkey recipe, which I gave out half an hour ago. Apparently, I forgot to mention that the turkey should be cooked. And do remember to heat your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about gas mark 50. Right.
Anna. Well, what more appropriate way to start to look forward to the future than by looking back at the past, as we remind ourselves of what man has achieved in the last 1,000 years, with a short documentary put together by the KYTV Education Department.
When the millennium started, there was no such thing as television. Then there was. Many things were done in the millennium, and others weren't. Had Napoleon been around in the 20th century, he'd have been the oldest man ever to have lived. Modern art looks like this. Fashion changed in a way that reflected the fashions of the age. 40s fashion was popular in the 40s, for example, but by the 50s, 40s fashion was out and 50s fashion was in. And now, as we approach the next millennium, people all over the world are more aware than ever that tomorrow is what today was yesterday.
Well, many thanks to our Education Department for that. And if you'd like a video of that, it's available from Sofa Shop, our comfy dial-a-deal home shopping channel. And it comes absolutely free with this set of storage jars, price £95.
2000 and medicine.
Well, with me now is Dr. Stafford, an expert geneticist and reasonably good gynaecologist, who has looked into the future of medical science to see how it will affect our lives. Now, Dr. Stafford, I gather that research is underway to find a way to reverse the ageing process.
That's right, yes, and this will mean that most of us will be getting younger and Cliff Richard will actually start getting older.
Good. Well, how do you see this affecting the death rate?
Oh, well, I expect it to remain steady at 1 per person.
Yes, yes, that wasn't quite what I meant. Never mind. Doctor, I gather forensic research has also enabled us to tell more about the causes of death.
Yes, that's right. I have here the bottled last breath of a man in his 60s, and this is very useful in determining exactly what he died from.
And what did he die from?
He died of asphyxiation from having a bottle held over his mouth.
Fascinating. Anna?
Well, a quick note about my gourmet meal recipe. I'm afraid I may have slightly misled you with those cooking temperatures a few minutes ago. Apparently, gas mark 50 is actually the equivalent of 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit and not the 300 that I said. So, apologies to Mrs. Sinton of Norwich, who's no longer able to get close enough to her oven to switch it off. And apologies also to the lady living in Oxfordshire, who up till 2 minutes ago was living in Berkshire. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the ways we think life will change by the year 2000.
With the continued rise of home computers, more and more people will be working from home.
Hello, Dr. Carter. Yes? Well, could you fax me your urine sample?
Alternative energy sources will start to be utilised.
Turn the television on.
Right.
Technological developments with cellular phones means that it will be possible to use them underwater.
Hello?
It will no longer be necessary for criminals to be at the scene of a crime. It will become possible for blind people to drive, with devices in the car that tell them when traffic lights have changed colour.
KYTV, we make the news. You can no longer watch Red Hot Dutch, but you can watch Lukewarm Belgian, KYTV's 24-hour rolling news service.
And a very good morning to you. Nice to have the pleasure of your company. In a moment, I'll be telling you how you can win one of these special Diddy David Birkinshaw sweaters, and then it's sex all the way and every way. The hows, the whens, the problems, those elusive multiple orgasms, and the cast of Emmerdale Farm. They'll be my very special guests in the afternoon part of the program. Each morning, there's children's entertainment, especially for adults.
Right, Perkins. Get your kicks off.
And Selena Scott presents the No Clothes Show. That's followed by Agatha Christie's Inspector Porno.
May I be of
Then there's our regular business news.
And in Tokyo, the rate is now 960 yen, that's about $10, with an additional 200 yen for the full VIP massage, including hand relief.
Plus, of course, there's You as Wives. And Barbara Simons of Lippert Grammar School shows what it means to be head mistress. And to round off our day here on Lukewarm Belgian, it's Clothes Down. So, put your slippers on and slip into someone comfortable and make a date with me, Diddy David Birkinshaw, here on Lukewarm Belgian.
Well, that's just one of the new channels shortly to be available from the new KYTV satellite, which will be launched as the highlight to this programme from our very own KYTV rocket. For safety's sake, the launch pad is miles away from any civilization, situated as it is in the centre of Basingstoke. Well, with me now is Chairman of the British Federation of Inventors, Jason Donovan, who is here to explain just one of the practical benefits of cosmic research.
Yes, the space program has enabled us to develop, amongst other things, this. It's highly sensitive to alterations of heat and weight, and is connected to this servo-controlled cybernetic arm.
Right, and what are the practical applications?
It stops pillows falling out of bed.
Well, if Neil Armstrong were here, I'm sure he'd be saying, that's one small step for man, one less pillow on the floor. Thanks for that, Mr. Donovan. Don't have to rush off?
No.
No.